Stop
We'll talk
doing
about it
cocaine.
later.
We'll talk about it later. Hello, everybody. Hi.
Hello, everybody. You know me. Okay, no, you don't, but you know who I am. I'm Issa J. And to my left is...
DJ.
And to my right is...
Is your current Small Wrestling Alliance heavyweight champion of the world, Mr. Liam Landry, Mr. NXT New Japan, Mr. Outside Main Roster.
Alright.
But today, we're going to be talking about some main roster stuff. We're going to be talking about the Royal Rumble, the 2019 Royal Rumble.
Which happened
and
last
our,
week.
Yeah. Yes, but we're going to do our Was It Worth It?
Mm-hmm.
And let's get right to it. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to start with the Cruiserweight Championship.
Why don't we start with the first match, though?
Which was the Cruiserweight?
No.
That was the... Oh, okay.
The first was that weird tag team match.
Yes, it was
Oh.
Chad Gable and Bobby Roode
Versus The Miz.
No, not The Miz. It was versus Scott Dawson, I think.
I think it was Dawson and Razor.
And
Dawson and Razor, okay.
Yeah.
Y'all go. I didn't like... Let me just say real quick.
It was pointless. No,
it was
wasn't
pointless.
worthless.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't worthless. It was very worthless. No, it wasn't worth it.
Wait,
It was,
you anything?
I heard some cool scenarios. I think it was off the Cultaholic podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about the idea that, and I would even go further with it to say, like, if you had a situation where maybe,
Okay.
Yes.
Keep going.
like maybe you have a situation where Dawson taps out Gable while Bobby Roode's getting pinned by Razor, and you have a situation where they can fight over like who actually won there. Was it the AOP guy? Was it the Revival guy? And that can lead to a feud between them, maybe going to WrestleMania, depending on how long it takes the other AOP guy to get back to being healthy and all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they could have been like feuding over who's the number one contender, and that could have actually done something for it, create a storyline. But
Mm-hmm.
the way it played out just was completely worthless. And on a night that went way too long, that did not need to be there.
Yeah, not at all. No.
No.
Yeah, not worth it.
All right, let's move on. Buddy Murphy for your...
No.
It's the United States. I didn't know that was the last one.
Did you watch the Cultaholic podcast?
Yeah.
Yes, they were trying to skip that one too.
United States Championship, Rusev versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Me, it wasn't worth it. Didn't have anything. No, wasn't worth it.
Yeah, you have Nakamura's champion losing to Rusev. Was that it?
No, it's the
No,
other way
it's
around.
the other way around.
Yeah.
Rusev is champion.
Rusev was champion.
Nakamura.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because it's all truth now.
Yeah. But he ended up knocking Lana off with the best line of, Lana, get up, Lana. Instead of going out of the ring to make sure she's okay.
Rub some dirt on it, Lana. Get into the tank.
From the few sequences they had, it was good, but
it wasn't.
Knowing what we know today, what happened Tuesday, it was pretty pointless. So it wasn't really worth it.
Yeah, it was a lot of unnecessary stuff. It was. It did more to write out Lana from the women's Rumble match than it did anything else. But since it's all in the pre-show too, you gotta expect a lot of people probably didn't even see that. Even people in the stadium didn't see that. So I figured people get confused off of that. But that seems mostly what it did anyways because of what happened Tuesday. And, overall, it just really wasn't worth it.
No. Wasn't worth it. Alright, now we can move on to the match I want to talk about. Your Cruiserweight Championship. Buddy Murphy is your champion versus Kalisto versus Tozawa versus Hideo Itami.
Yeah, I mean, of course you wanted to skip to this because it was a very good match.
A lot of cool spots.
It was.
Yeah. Buddy Murphy ended up winning and beat Hideo Itami so hard that he wants to leave now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Hideo Itami.
But we'll of course
leaving.
talk about that later in the podcast when we talk about the news. But yeah, so it was a good match overall. It was like what the cruiserweights always do when they get their time on the pay-per-views, or not really on the pay-per-views, but on the pre-shows.
Whenever they're there, they shine.
They try to do as best they can to get more eyes on the product.
I feel really bad for it though, 205 Live, because they have to do something really spectacular in order to keep it going strong.
No.
Like make it its own brand, like a
Not
proper
necessarily.
brand. No,
I-
necessarily.
But I think if you put it on the main, you can never put it on the main card because it would just get squashed by every other match that's on the main card because you wouldn't be talking about 205 Live as much.
Not true. The talk of the town was Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander when they were in Australia. It was on the main card. It was like the second to last or third to last match. No, second to last match.
Wow.
Everyone was talking about it.
Wow.
These guys know how to perform. Put them on the main roster and actually make or do something better. Give them a proper match and proper feuds down in NXT because these guys are way more structured for NXT than main roster anyway.
So I know what you mean. Give them more attention. You're talking about Japanese exploding death cages, steel cage matches. Ever seen one of those?
I don't want to see those.
When they-
I don't want to see them die.
When they actually put small bits of C4 on cages.
C4.
like tiny bits, and it blows up when you get run into it.
That is so stupid. I'm gonna have to look that up.
All right.
What?
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk
It was
about
totally worth it. It was a great match.
Yeah.
Yes, it was worth it, yeah. Now we get into the actual
Call.
Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
which was the SmackDown Women's Championship, Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Asuka is your champion.
Yeah, it was a really good match. Not the outcome I wanted, but I thought the match was amazing, and that finishing sequence was so good. It was one of the best finishing sequences I've seen in a long time, and the best one of the night.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like there's a lot of great back and forth here. It worked really well, and I thought it was worth it.
Yes, it was worth it. Back and forth a lot. I can see why Becky lost because of the triple threat match. We'll talk more about that at WrestleMania. What's happening with that, but yeah, it was worth it. Next we had wasn't the SmackDown Tag Team titles?
Yes.
Shane and Miz and Shane McMahon versus The Bar, who are your champions.
You have The Miz and the best wrestler in the world, Shane McMahon,
Sorry.
best in the world.
They're
Shane
known
McMahon.
as the best tag team in the world.
And actually,
And he literally came out and was the best man and the best wrestler in the world in that match, as he actually got the hot tag and took on both Sheamus and Cesaro
by himself.
to save the Miz.
At least he had a really good.
Showing.
I think this one is the star.
Shooting star press.
Shooting Star Press. I knew Star was in that.
I'll be right back.
The Shooting Star Press. Yeah. At least he did that really well, and he's almost 50. At least we could give him that.
He'd make Liger really upset if he heard you.
Well,
He invented
okay,
it, that's why.
okay. Yeah, we.
But he
can't-
also has his terrible punches. Yeah, that's literally one of the punches he did was like that. He didn't even fully extend his arm.
Wow.
It was like a T-Rex punch. But I know he's the best in the world, and I guess that's why I hate him so much. But no, it's ridiculous that it's not even just a comedic thing. Like he says he's the best in the world, but he falls up short and has to be bailed out by the Miz. It's literally just he's best in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta accept it. And I didn't think it was worth it.
At
just
least
because
we
of him.
saw the best Shooting Star Press of the night. No, it wasn't a shooting. That was a moonsault. Holy crud! Why are there so many space-based moves on the top turnbuckle? Never mind. I was about to talk about Io Shirai. We'll get to her soon. But yeah, it's just there for like comedy spots and
It was alright. It wasn't worth it.
That's what the World Tag Teams are for.
Those weren't even on the card.
At least we get Usos versus the greatest tag team in the world at
WrestleMania.
Elimination Chamber. So we'll see what happens there.
Oh, that's in 2 weeks, yeah. Alright, next we had
I think we're all in agreement it wasn't worth it.
the Raw Women's Championship was next?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ronda Rousey, your champion, versus Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought this match was not worth it. Every time there's a Ronda Rousey match, oh yay, Ronda Rousey's your winner. Don't even have to watch the match to figure that out. So, wasn't worth it.
I thought it wasn't worth it for different reasons. Not because she won, but because she was so super sloppy in the ring.
Yeah, well, that too.
There were so many botches, so many times where I was scared for Sasha Banks' life and not in a normal way.
Because normally you're scared like when she takes a chop. Like takes like a chop and then she like just flips on her head.
Yeah.
And like then snaps her neck after already falling.
And surprisingly, everybody loved this match. I don't get it at all.
I don't either.
There were story elements. Yeah, Sasha Banks was really ingenuitive with using her own gear. That was actually really cool, but it wasn't for me. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, you had some good parts with the selling, but it was overall very sloppy, and it doesn't seem like these two women had good chemistry together.
Despite what everyone else is saying right now.
Yeah, I don't know where they're really coming with that, because like it was very noticeably sloppy.
Yeah.
I don't even think you had to really analyze it that much to see that. And overall, it did pick up at the very last parts with the selling and the I believe it was like the bank statement near the end, and that those last parts were pretty good, but everything up to it was not very good, not very clean and crisp. I don't know if they had to run it more, or like I said, maybe they just have no chemistry together.
Yeah,
that could be, because they haven't wrestled together before. So.
At the end of the match, we see the 4 Horsewomen sign get thrown up by Sasha, and Bayley and Becky have been doing stuff on Raw as well with that, so they're teasing it, they're hinting at it. It's gonna happen.
What?
Probably SummerSlam or Survivor Series. We'll see.
Okay.
But does that mean we have to turn Ronda heel? Because I don't know how storyline wise it.
She might not be
sense.
here much longer either, so we'll have to see. What's next? What match was next? The women's.
Women's Royal Rumble. But before that, no, I didn't find this match worth it.
Okay.
Despite the ending actually being pretty cool.
No, I didn't find it worth it either.
No, it wasn't worth it. Just too sloppy. Next we have the 30 women Royal. We have the 30 women Royal Rumble. Yeah, as we said earlier, Lana wasn't in the match. Liam, you want to go first?
Oh well, Lana attempted to get in the match, but it was a setup to get the man in there. And once she got in there, it was kind of obvious. Well, even when you had Lana coming out injured, it was pretty obvious at that point what was going to happen. It was overall it was all pretty good. I think it was better than last year's. I think they gave it enough time and paced it well, and it looked more towards the future with younger talent instead of just bringing in a lot of older talent.
I do like that. Yeah, I did like that.
I think the only legend they brought in was Hornswoggle.
And that was just to do a comedy spot with Zelina Vega.
I think I still find it a missed opportunity that they didn't get to plug wrestling with my family in there. And I could definitely just see Michael Cole being like, oh, I think he's chasing after Zelina Vega because he thinks it's AJ Lee because it looks so much like her as starring in that movie Wrestling with My Family out March 8th.
March 1st.
March 1st.
I thought it was in February. They moved it back?
March 1st, yeah.
I saw February 22nd. Anyways, I feel like they still don't want to talk about AJ Lee on live television for some reason. But
that's why if the movie's a hit, they'll just move Zelina Vega as AJ Lee. They'll just take every picture out of AJ Lee and put her in there, and all the match records, it's Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega had the longest Divas Championship run before Nikki Bella.
But I again thought this one was better than last year's.
Yeah.
Less legends. They actually focused on upcoming talent. Ninja Warrior chick, Kelsey,
No,
Katie,
Kate. Yeah.
whatever her
Katie.
name is. I'm not good with names unless they're Japanese. Go figure. She was really impressive.
Yeah.
Alicia Fox had some of the funniest moments in the match.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only true legend was Maria Kanellis to actually
Yeah.
wrestle in there.
It's just too bad that had did some Japanese no selling. Didn't want to put over her.
It was
Yeah.
it was a really good match. I like how they're focusing on younger talent. They didn't bring back anybody really not on the roster. I'm just really excited for the way WWE is changing their ways.
Casey Canizero,
Casey Cantazzaro. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was
Who was-
really awesome.
who was also in both Mae Young Classics.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think she was just in the last Mae Young Classic, but she was in that and also in some NXT.
But I do think
So.
WWE is changing their ways. I'll talk about more when we do our regular podcast, Shooting with the Smarky Family, around 3:30. So please come join us. But yeah, WWE is changing. It will take some time to see the changes fully, but they're slowly doing it. So I did like that. It was better than last year's, and it's really worth it to watch it.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it.
Who did end up winning, Charlotte?
It's Becky.
Becky. Yeah,
Hmm.
Becky ended up winning. Okay.
That was the man, Becky Lynch.
What's next?
Next is Daniel
That's-
Bryan
that should be
versus
Charlotte's agree-
Brock
Regis.
Lesnar.
No, AJ Styles.
But she identifies
that's
as a
right.
man, so she can't. So she shouldn't be.
Well,
allowed to
hey,
win the
we'll
women's
get
Royal
to
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Anyways, we get what was it?
WWE
it's
Championship.
Daniel Bryan versus AJ
Oh, yes,
Styles for
Daniel
the
Bryan, AJ Styles.
championship. And
It was poorly placed there,
Yeah.
especially since it was a pretty good long match, like 20 something minutes.
I feel like this match would have worked better where the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match
Right.
was.
And then you just don't have the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I agree with you there.
Yeah,
Yes.
why not? But yeah, it was watching it separately. There's a lot of great stuff in there. It's just the crowd wasn't into it because they
You won
exerted
out.
all their energy for
Right.
the Rumble match. The match was really long, and it was very slow paced and very calculating. And then the finish was just a bit, nah. So with all of that going for it, it was really hard to get into in the moment. But watching it separately, it was a good match.
Yes, it was a really good match. I'd say it was worth it because I'm not gonna grade them how they were placed. I'm grading them on how they were storyline wise, and it was a really good match. It was a little slow at first, but it got going, and it was worth it.
To grade it though for where it was in, it could be a good match, but if it was gonna have a wonky ending like that, it could have had it be shorter, be like 14, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And you really should have had it be a quicker pace. I mean, these guys were attacking each other and seemed to be, to each other's throats. I mean, you could really had them just go out there and start brawling instead of starting a slow, grappling pace.
Yeah.
I'd always say, like, any hot feud should always start off just fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Make them seem like they're angry at each other if they were angry at each other and attacking each other. Like I said, if you're just gonna have a wonky finish too, you could have had it been shorter.
Yeah, just watch NXT and see how they do that.
Just watch Elevate Pro on Fight TV. I mean, we went to an event last night and they did that a couple times.
Yeah. Anyways, go on to the next one.
Which is
Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor for the Universal Championship.
and talking about
The human Finn Balor.
and talking about fast starts, Finn Balor was all over Brock Lesnar when it first started.
Yeah, it started off very logically with that.
This match was worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Brock Lesnar actually put effort into it, so it came out better. So
Yeah,
he
it
really
was
sold.
actually it came across really really good, and it was really really entertaining, especially that finish when Finn hits the coup de grace, and you're like, wait, what? And then Brock Lesnar has to pull out the Kimura lock because it's a last ditch effort. He knows he's going to lose if he doesn't go for that right then and there. I thought it was a really good, fun story, and it was like 8 minutes, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really seemed like it.
But it didn't
could
seem like
definitely
8
win.
minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it
a
seemed
lot
like-
in.
They right. It seemed a little long to me.
Yeah.
So
It also really made me think that he could possibly win, and really showed and really gave the credence that they should fight each other again.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me think a later choice in the Rumble shouldn't have happened, and it should be Brock versus Demon Finn Balor at Mania.
That would be awesome.
That should have seemed like a more logical conclusion. And there was even points where I really thought my pick was going to go awry, especially when I heard that Finn Balor's family was at ringside. But now they were just there to see him lose. I guess also to see Phoenix.
and we do have the 2019 Men's Royal Rumble.
Final match of the night.
You want to start off, Issa?
Nia Jax attacked R-Truth at the 30 spot. That was funny. And Liam here kept saying that she must have angered someone in the back because she got super kicked, 619, and RKO'd before getting eliminated.
I think it was punched to the face. I think that's probably the reason why. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely seemed like. I mean, that's been well known that they've like abused people in the Rumble before, and it's also well known just the idea of giving someone. I mean, they're not really hurting her, but that they give them the idea of it. Apparently, people are really crazy over that. People are forgetting that still Nia Jax. Everyone must still hate Nia Jax.
Yeah, everyone is starting to love her just because of this. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they're starting to
Weird.
act like it's the first time or something.
I know. One of the things.
Which is weird because they had a woman who's been in the Men's Royal Rumble that same night on commentating for the Women's Royal Rumble, Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh, who's also in Phoenix? Worse on so many levels.
So many levels.
So, overall, what y'all think?
Not as good as last year's. Last year's was going to be way too hard to top, especially with the lack of build and storylines they had, in the match itself, and where the women's had a lot of cool stuff, the men's only had one potential feud that isn't going to happen whatsoever for a while, since the Elimination Chamber has one of those two men in them. So it was good, it was worth it, and the obvious winner won. But overall, it wasn't as good as last year's.
It was poorly paced. It had to go very quick in there because it was already going very late in there, and that I would have to put that into perspective as well for my decision with reviewing it. Is that it went too long, and it needed more time, but couldn't be any longer than it already was. So it was poorly paced. It didn't produce storylines, and it didn't really have anyone else in there other than Seth Rollins who could have logically gone in there. Like I said, I would rather someone go in there to face Daniel Bryan, but I don't even know who would have been really reasonably been the person to go in there to face Daniel Bryan. Unless he did, instead of Nia Jax, R-Truth came out, and then AJ Styles came out. Did something jokingly to trick him, not attack him, but like maybe convince them, like trade them something. Like but do something, not to be a heel turn, but to get in there to try to be like, I got screwed out of mine. And I want another
there was
shot.
Also Rey Mysterio who could have won.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio could have been a good option
But
as well.
yeah, it was.
But it was very.
weirdest-
But there's only been a few people in there,
Yeah.
especially when you go into the SmackDown route.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things for me to really get invested in was when Dolph Ziggler came out, and then he immediately eliminated Drew McIntyre, and I was like, well, yeah, it's definitely Seth now because there is no one. And they did do a little tease of Braun Strowman having the number 27 spot as, oh, okay, maybe. But you didn't really feel it, especially towards the end when they were on the apron. I was like, okay, they're both on the apron. Seth is getting it.
And the thing, I agree. As y'all know, I like grading things. I'll give it a C. One of my lowest grades I've ever given. Because I usually like to give A's and B's, but I give this a C because it was crap. They placed matches. They put it in the card was all messed up. They put it in the wrong order. Some of the matches would have been better if they would have been placed differently. I'll talk more about that when we do our podcast. I don't know. That's one of the things I think WWE needs to work on, and I hope they do in the future. We'll just have to wait and see. But overall, like Issa says, it wasn't going to be better than last year's. I already had that in my mind because last year's was A+ worthy. It was really good. I just don't know where they go from here. We'll just have to wait and see.
The Elimination Chamber.
Well, I know that. But
overall, in the night, I would have kept the Asuka versus Becky Lynch. Kept it first. You know, maybe Rousey, Sasha Banks, but maybe put in someone else to also kind of help it work better. Someone who would have had more.
It's hard when you have two Royal Rumble matches.
But
you know.
what I was going is next be the men's Rumble, then 2 World Championship matches, then follow it with the women's Rumble, and I'd also say I would have started it earlier, just take out some of the pre-show and put that started earlier. Then you'll end with the women's Royal Rumble and end with Becky Lynch on top.
It's still too long of a pay-per-view. 5 hours.
No, he's saying chop off an hour.
Yeah, I'm saying like we're getting rid of a lot on the pre-show.
So do 6
like
to 10.
you can get rid of Nakamura, Rusev. You can get rid of. I mean, you can just have Becky Lynch attack Lana.
No, but it was 7 hours altogether. Is what I'm saying.
They won't even make her feel like a heel because Lana a lot of times feels like a heel herself. So it's just like, oh.
And you also take out both tag team championship matches.
Yeah.
You keep the fatal 4-way for the cruiserweight title, and those would be the matches.
You see, the thing is, WWE doesn't need every championship defended at every pay-per-view. But until they change that, their pay-per-views will not.
Well, 2 championships were not defended at this pay-per-view.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see you next time, so.
What?
Close it out. What 2?
Intercontinental and Raw tag.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right, because that one wasn't even for a tag title.
Correct.
That's what I was thinking, because they were on the show. Well, on the pre-show, but... Okay, anyways,
Close it out.
You want to send us out, Issa?
Yeah, I guess that's our review. Overall, it was worth it, but watch it at your own pace, because it's tough to get through all 5 hours. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give us those sexy likes.
And the unsexy ones.
And share to all of your friends.
And enemies.
And if you really like what we do, please hit that subscribe button down below so that way you are a part of the Smarky family. And then hit that notification bell because...
So you know when we go live around 1 p.m. every Sunday, Central Time. And for all pay-per-views, WWE and non-WWE.
Then when other videos get posted or whenever
you want to be
notified of what we do, hit that bell. And thank you guys so much again for watching. And until next time, it will be awesome. Why do you keep doing this? Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Oh my gosh, what is this?
You gotta click off of it. There you go, now hit it.
Do.